Obesity does more than increase body size. It fundamentally alters the body's internal chemistry, especially its hormonal balance. These disruptions create a biological environment where cancer doesn't just survive, it thrives. The hormonal link between obesity and cancer is no longer a theory. It's a well-documented pathway that helps explain why excess body fat is now recognized as a major driver of at least 13 types of cancer. But despite this growing understanding, public awareness remains dangerously low, and millions continue to live in bodies under constant biochemical stress with little knowledge of the risk they face. At the center of this hormonal chaos is insulin. In obesity, the body becomes resistant to insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating blood sugar. To compensate, the pancreas produces even more of it, resulting in hyperinsulinemia. Elevated insulin and insulin-like growth factors, IGFs, don't just affect metabolism. They act as growth promoters, stimulating cell division and inhibiting programmed cell death, or apoptosis. In short, they push cells to grow faster and live longer than they should, exactly the conditions under which cancer can develop and spread. Another key player is estrogen. After menopause, women stop producing estrogen from their ovaries, but fat tissue continues to generate it. The more fat, the more estrogen. And this isn't just a minor issue. It's a direct cancer trigger. High levels of circulating estrogen increase the risk of breast and endometrial cancers by activating hormone-sensitive cell receptors and encouraging abnormal growth in these tissues. In women with obesity, estrogen doesn't decline with age. It often remains elevated, sustaining a hormonal environment that fuels malignancy well into later life. Leptin, a hormone produced by fat cells to regulate hunger and energy expenditure, is also implicated. In obesity, leptin levels are chronically high, but the brain becomes resistant to its signals, leading to continued overeating. But beyond appetite, leptin has pro-inflammatory and pro-angiogenic effects. It encourages the formation of new blood vessels, which tumors need to grow. High leptin levels have been associated with breast, colon, and prostate cancers, reinforcing the idea that fat tissue is not passive, but actively involved in cancer biology. On the other hand, adiponectin, a hormone that usually protects against cancer by reducing inflammation and improving insulin sensitivity, is suppressed in obesity. The more body fat a person carries, the less adiponectin is available. This further tilts the internal balance toward a state of chronic inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and cellular stress. The result is a body primed for cancer development at multiple levels: hormonal, immune, and metabolic. This hormonal disruption doesn't just increase the risk of developing cancer, it also makes cancer harder to treat. Tumors in obese patients often grow faster and are more resistant to standard therapies. The altered hormone environment can interfere with drug metabolism and reduce the effectiveness of treatments like chemotherapy and hormone blockers. Some cancers, particularly hormone receptor-positive breast cancer, may recur more frequently in patients with obesity, despite initial remission. What makes this situation even more troubling is the absence of meaningful warnings. While public health messaging often touches on diet and diabetes, the hormonal cancer connection is rarely discussed. Women are not routinely informed that their excess body fat could be quietly fueling estrogen-sensitive tumors. People with prediabetes or insulin resistance are seldom told that their elevated insulin might be accelerating cancer risk. Instead, cancer is still largely portrayed as a genetic or random event, rather than a process profoundly influenced by modifiable hormonal factors. The hormonal consequences of obesity are not abstract, they are deadly. And the longer the issue is ignored or minimized, the more lives will be lost to preventable cancers. Addressing obesity must go beyond calorie counting or cosmetic concerns. It must include urgent attention to the hormonal havoc it causes and the silent but powerful role this plays in cancer risk. Without that shift, we will continue to treat symptoms while overlooking one of the most potent causes of the modern cancer epidemic.